Around this time of year, we never got a chance to do a second one of these hit lists.
No, we haven't.
I think, timing has never been on our side.
Timing has never been our side, especially with the month of March.
So we actually get a chance to do this hit list that we've been meaning to do a sequel for. So if you don't mind, Mr. Jericho, can you please introduce this?
You just made the list!
It is time for the hit list, where we take a list of 3 songs, each in one particular topic or subgenre of heavy metal, and give it to you guys in this video. Now, this is a sequel to a list that I did about, I would say, 5 or 6 years ago, where we're talking about heavy metal drinking songs, and this time, you have to be involved in this.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So, just to kind of cover it, here are the songs that we have already covered on one of these lists. None of those songs can be included on this list, but we can copy artists because I'm not heartless. So,
otherwise, that cuts my list in half.
I started last time. Why don't you start this one?
My number 3 pick is excuse me as I slowly start dying.
You can't die yet. We haven't even talked about drinking yet.
My number 3 pick, Ensiferum, with one more magic potion.
You sound like you might need one. Actually.
I really do, actually.
Get him a red one.
It has such a different start to it than most Ensiferum songs.
It sounds like a bard song.
It really does sound like a bard song, and then it just picks up. And it's just it's fun. It goes from light to heavy, which is something I do really enjoy.
Yeah.
And it's just talking about, grabbing one more drink.
Yeah. And I love that it kind of, on the surface, is kind of it's more fantasy stuff.
It's more fantasy drinking than regular drinking.
No, one more magic potion, it'll heal our wounds. Yeah, that's drinking.
That's definitely drinking. Because what good whiskey lover doesn't think that after a good whiskey they don't feel better?
I don't remember what I saw it on, but one thing that I keep thinking every time I see somebody just drinking whiskey straight was somebody said, "Oh, sweet brown medicine, take the pain away." And I think that's what Ensiferum was talking about here.
Yep, that's what they're going for with this one.
Because, mine starts off with probably the most recent one on either of our lists, from Fenster Forest's YOLO EP, because I don't care what people say about modern-day Fenster Forest. It is fun as hell, and I love it, and I love the song Bottle Gods.
Every night we're on the road to push aside tomorrow, chasing off the liquid gold. No use for guilt or sorrow.
I am admittedly not an older Fenster Forest fan, so I didn't have the same outrage that a lot of fans had when they were like, what the hell? Their album is called YOLO, and they're covering Miley Cyrus. What's wrong with these people?
How dare they have fun?
But as somebody who got into them through Machtig Frei instead, all I kept thinking to myself was, this is fun as hell, and I want to keep listening to this. Had so many great drinking songs on this EP, and I think Bottle Gods was one of the best. I think in my mind they had a song in mind called Battle Gods, and they just changed the lyrics a bit, because I know that some bands have done that. Rage has a song called Battlefield, and they changed it into a drinking song by calling it Bottlefield.
Yep.
This might be the same thing, but even if it's not, I love how this song sounds. I love the chorus that goes along with it. I love any drinking song that actually starts with a bottle opening is off to a good start right away.
Definitely.
So, you know what? Fenster Forest, if their next album is serious, cool. But we'll always have the album that has a picture of a Viking holding a selfie stick. So.
All right, you knew this was going to be on here somewhere. My number 2 pick, Alestorm with Drink.
I am shocked this is not number 1.
For you, geese of beer.
What's better than pirates, drinking, and more pirates and more drinking?
I was going to say more drinking, but then you finished it for me.
Yeah. Pretty much Alestorm with Drink. The entire song is about literally going out, stealing liquor, and getting boozed up.
Yeah. Which, I mean, like, admittedly, like, a lot of their songs kind of stop at the stealing.
Yeah.
They drink to build up the courage. They go to steal, and then the whole song is a celebration of the theft.
Yeah.
This is a celebration of the drinking afterwards.
We live each day like there's nothing to lose, but a man has needs, and that need is booze. They say all the best things in life are free, so give all your beer and you run to me.
This is the celebration of them finally stealing all of their rum, all of the beer, just getting everything and just chugging it down.
And the video for it is fun, too.
Oh, the video for it is amazing. They're literally breaking into a mansion, and they convert all of the fine and proper people into alcoholics and partying.
I'd like to think that that's how it actually worked, but I think there was more like stabbing and killing and stuff.
There was some stabbing and killing, but when you see... they converted the women. That's what it was.
There we go.
We are here to drink your beer and steal your rum at the point of a gun. Your alcohol to us will fall, 'cause we are here to drink your beer.
So yeah, pretty much almost every single song from Alestorm can be on this list, but Drink is just so much fun to just actually drink to.
I agree.
Especially when you're seeing them live. Just
And if you haven't seen Alestorm live, you need to,
get on top of that.
change your priorities,
Yes.
man. It's fun as hell. My number 2 is from a band called Skyclad. And I do not listen to a lot of them, kind of like Fenster Forest, but I do appreciate what they have done for drinking songs because their most famous song is called Another Drinking Song.
This actually came up on my Spotify on the way here.
Drinking to forget and to remember all the glory days, the days we stood apart and we stood strong. Though the beer befuddles sense, it can't provide them recompense, they settle for another drinking song.
I love this song because it's a heavy metal song, but it is first and foremost a folk song.
Yes.
And it really does build up to the heaviness, and you don't really get it until the very end.
No, the entire beginning of the song, it doesn't even sound like it is metal whatsoever. It's an entire like an Irish folk metal song
Yeah.
up until the exact point where all of a sudden they start screaming.
Well, that's the thing. They don't really scream, they don't really shout, but there is one moment where guitars start coming in and doing solos, and then you're like, oh, this is a metal song now. Cool. And I think that's like one of my favorite types of song is just the one where it's like it builds up. What I said when I was talking about folk metal is that I love songs that start soft and eventually introduce more instruments.
Okay,
and this one, that follows that to a T, with the one exception that in the middle of it, all the instruments die out and they just start drunkenly chanting, which I think is just endearing as hell.
Yeah.
So I will listen to more Skyclad eventually. But for right now, Another Drinking Song is on my playlist for St. Patrick's Day, as it has been every year.
My number 1 pick that has beaten out Alestorm.
Shock.
Amon Amarth, raise your horns. This is definitely one of my favorite songs off of that album in particular.
Yom's Viking.
Yom's Viking. Pretty much all it's because it is another song about celebration. It's about celebration after a raid. It's raising your horns to those who have fallen.
A drink that they have earned, and pour a beer for those who fell, for those who did not return.
It's a slower Amon Amarth song.
It's probably their single slowest.
Yes,
I would say.
but it's still hands down one of their heaviest.
We will drink to glory tonight. Raise your horns, raise them up to the sky. We will drink tonight.
It has that same dark, heavy range to it.
Yeah.
Where nothing sounds light on it whatsoever. Everything just sounds heavy and powerful.
It does sound like it's the song that you can join in the easiest with, though.
Also
Like,
that.
Yeah. It's also really fun to see live.
Oh, yes. No, that's a great song to see live. Also, I recommend watching the music video, because you'll see many of your favorite heavy metal stars raising their horns.
Yeah. And if there's one song that inspired me that maybe I should get my own drinking horn, this is probably the one.
Oh, without a doubt, yes.
Yeah. I mean, you actually bought one.
I have 2 at home, actually. What a shock.
Yeah, any excuse I can to talk about Corp Kalani's Man with a Plan, huh?
Yep, any excuse.
Screw it, I've never talked about it in a video. Let's do it. I love this song.
All this man talked about for a good month and a half was this song.
Because, all right, you know how I am with Corp Kalani.
I know how you are with Corp Kalani.
You know how I am with fun songs. You know how I am with drinking songs.
Yes. This is a great song. I agree with that. It is an amazing song. I agree with that. But for 3.5 weeks?
Yeah. You're right. I should have talked about it longer.
Exactly!
Everyone in full swing. Brothers of Kim will attend to sing. No one cares what tomorrow brings. And the sound of birds loud again.
Corp Kalani's Man with a Plan, originally a song called Vina Mein Mias off of their last album. I loved the song before it was translated into English,
Yes.
and I learned a good solid portion of the Finnish version before they translated it into English and made it a lot simpler, I would say, for me to understand.
It's a lot easier to understand, but honestly, I prefer it in the original language.
There are parts of me that prefer it in that one too, but I also like the English translation because I could print it on a shirt.
I'm a man with the blood. The blood is to push as much as I can. I will be this way until the fall of a final time.
Corp Kalani's songs are all about when they're at their best, about having a good time, about enjoying life, about enjoying the company you're in, sometimes through the means of alcohol.
Yes.
And nothing says that more than Man with a Plan, where all you think of is, all I am set to do for the foreseeable future is drink and enjoy myself.
Yep.
And that is the definition of a great drinking song. If you guys have suggestions for us that you'd like to do for future hit lists, please let us know. Either leave us a comment or you could send us some messages on the Twitters. I am at Pat Shred Shack.
I am Shred Shack Reese.
Let's listen to some Ensiferum, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
This is One More Magic Potion.